Hello, everyone. So thank you so much for jumping in with the call today, our first ever webinar session. This is a Year 7 class, really, to have a bit of a review over some of the things you might have done this year. Now, we're not really going to be teaching a whole lot of content. We're mainly going to be assuming that you've done it or touched it somewhere before, and then we're going to have a quick glance over it today and maybe explain a couple of concepts here and there, but we're not going to be able to get through all the content. But thankfully, this isn't a normal classroom, so we get to have a bit more fun. So we're going to be running a Kahoot. We're going to be looking at some interesting facts, and I've got a bit of a puzzle for you at the end too. Now, just to make sure that everyone's well equipped, if you want to play the Kahoot, grab another device, or if you only got one laptop, just split the screen so that half the screen is me, and then the other half of the screen is going to be the web browser with kahoot.it. And the second thing that you'll need today is you'll need some pens and a piece of paper to do some working out on. Joining me on this call that's helping me kind of manage everything today is Yaz. Yaz, do you mind just saying hello for a quick bit?
Hi, everyone.
She's mainly going to be helping me out with doing the chat. So down the bottom of your screen, you've got a couple of options to you. I'll just quickly explain them because this is how you interact with me and Yaz. So under the Q&A button, this is where you can click to send any questions you want. No one else sees it except for us. And then we kind of decide whether we're going to address the question or not. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to put it into the Q&A. There are no dumb questions. Send them through. Alternatively, if you want to be able to talk to everyone, you can use the chat function. So if you can't play Kahoot for whatever reason, you may want to try and answer the questions in this chat. Feel free to ask questions to other people. But yeah, feel free to do that. So we did a bit of a poll at the start, and I'm just going to end it now before we begin. And these are the results. Lots and lots of people found indices quite difficult, so we'll have a quick look at that today. And all of those topics is really what we're going to be reviewing. Okay, so let's jump into the first part, which is the Kahoot. So I am now going to share my screen, and that's going to show you what the idea is. So jump into kahoot.it right now. Go put in the game pin of 9644872. Kahoot's basically a multi-choice quiz game, and it looks like there's quite a number of us. It's like almost 60 of us in this call. This is going to be awesome with having 60 people playing this game. Now, we don't have that many questions, probably got 10 or 12 questions, but they're all based on the things that we were talking about before. Oh, these are some auto-generated names. Interesting. Makes my life easy. Don't have to kick out any dodgy names. All right, so I'm going to wait another minute or so. Get in there. And yeah, so this Kahoot's really just going to be talking about our first topic for today. This week we're covering whole numbers. And so that's got to do with all the things that I kind of put in that poll before. We've got arithmetic, we've got order of operations, indices, prime numbers, composite numbers, all that kind of jazz. All right, another 30 seconds. Whoa, 42 people in. Are the last 14 people joining us? This is going to be so cool. I'm excited. All right. 10 seconds, and then we're going to start going. I think you can join partway through anyway. So if you're a bit slow, that's okay. If you can't get into the Kahoot, remember, you just got to go join a different get a web browser up in a different screen or a different device, and then jump onto kahoot.it, and you'll come to a screen where you can put this login in. All right, well, let's start. Let's go. You ready? So what's going to happen here is I've got a series of questions. We're all going to answer the question, and then we're going to we're going to talk about the question each time. Now, raising hands just alerts us, people who are running the webinar, to whether you have something to say, really, or you need some help or something like that. All right, let's go. First question. Get ready. 5 plus 11. This should be easy. Let's go. Get in there. Faster you are, the more points you get. 5 plus 11. 35, got the right answer of 16. Well done. All right, that was just a warm up. You ready for round 2? Let's go. 42, take 18. It's a bit harder. It's going to take you a little bit longer. You got 10 seconds. 5, 4. Nice. 23 people got that one right. Now, just very quickly, a really nice method to do this is a bridging to 10 method, right? So all you do is you go 42, take 10, get rid of the 10s first, that's 32. And then you go, well, it's 32, take 8, because you've already taken away the 10, you only got 8 left. What's 32 take 8? Well, to get to the nearest 10, you take off the 2. So 40 takes 6, and then you just got to take away the 6, which is 24. All right. Sorry, 30 takes 6, that's 24. Aquatic Badger, whoever you are, you're rocking it. Let's go, next one. 9 sevens, this will be quick. Whoa. 10 seconds, 1. There we go, 9 sevens, R63. Really cool technique for this one if you don't know your 9s. Rumba, use your hands. Starting from this side, going 9 ones. Well, that's 9. So 9 ones on the right. And then 2 9s, put your second finger down. What's on the left here is your 10s, and then what's on your right is your 1s. So you got 1 10 and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1. So that's 18. Your 3 9s, third finger down. You got your 2 10s on the left, and your 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1s on your right. So that's 27, and you can just keep doing that for all your 9s. That's one trick anyway. All right. I think we're coming to the end of the easy ones. I think there's one more easy one. Here we go. 84 divided by 12. What is it? All right. And it is. Whoa, I think I messed this one up. Did I? 84 divided by 12. It's definitely not 8. Sorry, guys, I messed that one up. All right. Now we're actually going to be getting into some of our meatier content. So I think this next one's going to be order of operations. Just think about what do you need to, if you've got lots of operations happening at the same time, what order do you need to do them in? This next question is going to be 20 seconds. All right. So you've got a bit more time to think about it. If you need to, use your pen and paper to work it out. All right. Ready? Okay, let's go. Next one. Oh, no, another easy one. What is the square root of 25? Waiting for that last couple of people. What does the square root mean? Nice. Remember, the square root means something times itself equals the number in the square root symbol. So something times itself is 25, and that is 5 5s. All right. Kind bunny. Well done. Number 1. All right. This is a hard one. You got a bit more time for this one, though. So the square root of 39 is a decimal value between which 2 numbers? Ooh. This one's a bit trickier, a bit slower on the responses. Getting there. All right. Oh, this one was really tricky. You ready? This is how you do it. So we know that the square roots of, the squares of the numbers are just the number times itself. So you go, well, 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 is a square number. 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 is a square number. 4 is the square of 2. Then we've got 3 3s are 9, 4 4s are 16, 5 5s are 25. So we got 6 6s is 36. And then the next one after that is 7 7s is 49. Now notice that 39 is between 36 and 49. So that means when I square root 39, it's got to be between those two numbers, right? It's got to be somewhere between 6 and 7. Because 39 is closer to 36 than it is to 49, the square root of 39 is going to be closer to 6. It's probably going to be 6 point something. So that's how you do that kind of question. All right, they're going to get trickier. You ready? Let's go to the next one. All right, order of operations, find 5 times 3 plus 6 with 3 plus 6 in brackets. Oh, this one's definitely easier than the last one. All right, so what do you have to remember when you've got lots of operations happening at the same time? There's a couple of different acronyms here, but the one that I use is BIMDAS, right? And BIMDAS stands for brackets, indices, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. And so you just got to remember, you got to do them in that order. So in this case, we've got brackets. We've got to do what's inside first, which is the 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. And then after I do that addition in the brackets, I can then do the next thing. So after brackets comes indices. There's no indices in here. Then we do any multiplications or divisions. So I've got to do the timesing. So it's 5 times the 9, that is the 3 plus 6. And that is 5 9s are 45. Well done, everyone. All right, next one. Wow, Silver Impala, Kind Bunny, you guys have been in the top 5 for ages. Well done. All right, let's go. Next one. Oh, this is an order of operations question with indices. 2 cubed take 1, all in brackets, and then all of that squared. What does a cube mean? What does a square mean? We kind of talked about it a bit before. All right, well, let me do some drawing here. You ready? So if I've got 2 cubed, what on earth is that first? Can someone in the chat tell me, what does 2 cubed mean? But lots of people are telling me 8, but what does it mean? Someone's Aiden's got it. It is 2 times 2 times 2. So it's literally this number multiplied by itself this many times. So that was the first part. You had to figure out what that was. So when we do BIMDAS again, we got to do the brackets. And then what's in the brackets? Then we do BIMDAS again. If there's any other brackets in the brackets, we got to do them, but there aren't any. So we move through to indices. And indices is the 2 cubes. So I need to go, okay, first of all, that is 8 plus, oh, sorry, not plus. I've got to whiz my eraser. Plus 8 take, and by the way, can you guys see what I'm writing here? 8 take 1, and that's all in brackets. Hey, that's just a line. How do I free draw? That's annoying. All right, I've lost the ability to draw, but I've got to do the 8 take 1 in brackets first. 8 take 1, 7. And so once I've got the 7 in the bracket calculated, then I've just got to square it. Remember, squaring means something times itself. So 7 7s are 49. All right, let's keep going. All right, good work, Royal Chicken. True or false is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 5 squared. 4 seconds left. Hey, there we go. Ready? So I tried to trick you. Remember that what you're multiplying by itself, that's actually the number on the bottom, not the top. right? So the number at the bottom we call the base, and the base is what we're multiplying by itself. The number at the top is called the index, also called the power, sometimes called the exponent as well. That's how many times you're multiplying by itself. So this is actually 2 to the power of 5. Whereas, oh, here we go, got it back. That's actually 2 to the power of 5. 5 squared is actually 5 times 5, right? Two very different answers. 2 to the power of 5, well, let's do that, right? Because we can do powers of 2 pretty easy because all it is doubling. So we go, well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times another 2 is 32. So 2 to the 5 is 32, but 5 5s are 25. Very, very different. So just got to be careful of that one. All right. Chat's going off. Well done. Keep talking. Hopefully Yaz is in there kind of making sure everything's okay. All right, next question. You ready? 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Is it 3 to the 4? True or false? Hooray! It is true. I didn't trick you this time. So the 3s, because they're all being multiplied together, is the base. And so that's what's the number at the bottom. And then there's 4 of them being multiplied together. So that's 3 to the power of 4. Boom, got it. Space lizard coming out of nowhere. All right. Here we go. Some people didn't like this one. Is 15 a prime number? What does it mean to be a prime number? All right. Boom. And that is false. Why? Well, a prime number is a number that only has 2 factors. Okay, now we're going to ask the question, what on earth is a factor? A factor is a number that divides evenly into a bigger number. So if I were to look at the factors of 15, let me show you a really cool way, or really easy way, to find your factors. So here's 15, and I've just got to think, okay, what are my factors of 15? Well, I start with the number 1. Oh, that's really thick. I start with the number 1, and I think to myself, well, 1 times something is 15, and that other number is 15. So 1 and 15 are both factors of 15. Why? Because 1 divides evenly into 15, and 15 divides evenly into 15. So they're both factors, right? Then I check the next number. The number after 1 is 2. Does 2 fit into 15? No, it doesn't, because 15 is an odd number. 2 can't fit into an odd number, right? Doesn't go evenly. So 2 doesn't fit in. And 2 times something doesn't, there's no whole number 2 times something that gives us 15. So we check the next number. Does 3 go into 15? And the answer is, yeah, it does. 3 times something gives me 15. So I put the 3 down, put a comment. I think, okay, well, 3 times what gives me 15? 3 times 5. So now I've got 3 dividing into 15 evenly. I've got 5 dividing into 15 evenly. So that means both 3 and 5 are factors, right? So I've got 1, 3. I check the next number after 3, which is 4. Does 4 fit into 15? No, it doesn't, because it goes 4, 8, 12, 16. Doesn't fit into 15 evenly. So 4 is not a prime number. So now that I've gotten into the middle, there's no other numbers to check, because I've gone through all the numbers through 1 through 15, and these are the only numbers that are my factors. So because 15 has more than 2 factors, because it's got 4 factors, this is a prime number. Does anyone know what the name of a number is that is not prime? Right? If it's not prime, the number is composite, right? So 15 is a composite number, not a prime number. All right, lots of smart cookies on the chat. Let's keep going. All right. Next one. All right, true or false, is 19 a prime number? Think about what we just talked about. What is a prime number? Does 19 have more than 2 factors? And the answer is it is a prime number. What numbers go into 19? Well, 1 and 19 go in. Well, does 2 go in? No, because 19's odd. Does 3 go in? Well, we can check if by doing our 3 times table, we go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So 3 doesn't fit into 19 evenly. 4 doesn't, 5. So the answer is, as we go through all those numbers, no other number goes into 19 besides 1 and 19. So it is a prime number. All right. Let's keep going. What are all the factors of 12? Oh, what are the factors of 12? What numbers fit into 12? What numbers divide evenly into 12? All right. So first one is correct. I tried to trick you with some of the other ones. I tried to put in a 0 in there. Didn't work for a lot of you. All right, ready? So let's quickly do the factors of 12 actually while we're here. Okay, let's go. So remember, I've got 1 goes into 12. 1 times something gives me 12, and the other number is 12. So 1 and 12 both go into 12. Check the next number after 1. Next number is 2. Does 2 go into 12? Yes, because 12 is even. So 2 and something gives me 12. 2 times 6 gives me 12. So 2 and 6 are both factors. That's a bit hard to read. Check the next number after 2. Does 3 go into 12? Yes, it does. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 3 goes into 12 4 times. And notice that now I'm in the middle. There's no other numbers to check because I've gotten to 3 and 4 and there's no other numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are my factors of 12. All right. Let's keep going. Now, someone's just asked very quickly, who sees, when sending a question on the tab, and the tab is on panelists, who sees the questions? Only myself and Yaz. We see the questions. We see the chat that's in there. All right, let's keep going. How are we doing for time, by the way? Let me just check the time. All right, we're 25 minutes in. Now, let's keep going. The lowest common multiple of 2 and 4 is 8. Is that true or false? What on earth is a multiple? And the answer is false. Why is it false? 8 is a multiple of 2 and 4, right? So let's go back. Okay. What on earth is a multiple? A multiple is literally your times table. So if I'm saying what are the multiples of 2? It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What are the multiples of 4? 4, 8, 12, 16. And it's all of your times tables are your multiples. The tricky part here was, what is the lowest common multiple? All right, so let's talk about what's a common multiple. Any multiple of 2 and 4 that are the same are common multiples. So for example, 8 is a common multiple because we can go 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 is a multiple of 2. We can go 4, 8. So 8 is also a multiple of 4. So because 8's a multiple of both 2 and 4, they're a common multiple. But the lowest one, the smallest one, isn't actually 8. The smallest one is actually 4, right? Because I can go 2, 4. That's 4 is a multiple of 2. And 4, well, 4 is a multiple of 4 as well. So the lowest common multiple is 4. Tricked you. Some other common multiples, just to make things clear. 12 is another common multiple because we can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And we can go 4, 8, 12. So 12 is a number that is a multiple of both 2 and 4, both common multiples, but the lowest one is 4 itself. All right. Lots of chat, I imagine. Stop tricking us. That's the whole point. That's my job. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, next question. The next one's going to be about common factors. We talked about factors earlier. What's a common factor? And What's the highest common factor? Oops, I probably should have given you more time on this one. All right, tricked you again. Oh, no, I didn't. Most of you got it right. Damn. So the highest common factor, well, let's talk about what a common factor is. If I wrote out all my factors of 12, right? Let's do that first. 12, what are the factors of 12? We did this just before, actually. 1, 2, 3. I'm just listing them out. Just if you want to write them out yourself, you should probably use the technique of starting from the beginning and 1 and 12 and kind of working your way in. But since I know them, I'm just going to write them out. Those are the factors of 12. Let's do the factors of 24 properly, though. Oh, I'm going to use it. Can I use my touch screen? Yeah, this is so much easier. 24. All right, so factors of 24. I start at 1 and I go to 24. Because 1 times 24 is 24, all right? So let's do the next number after 1. Next number after 1 is 2. Does 2 fit into 24? Yeah, it does, because 24 is even. So it's 2, and 2 times what is 24? 2 times 12. I'm going to run out of room here. I'm going to have to come down the bottom. Okay, does 3 go into 24? Well, let's double check. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So yes, it does. 3 times 8 is 24. I've got to check the next one after 3. 3, after 3 comes 4. Does 4 go to 24? Yes, it does. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 4 and 6 are 24. So the only number I have left to check is 5, because 5 is in between 4 and 6. So does 5 go to 24? Let's double check. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 5 does not fit into 24 evenly. So it's not a common, it's not a factor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24 are all my factors of 24. So now I'm looking for common factors. What are a common factor? Anything in the list on, anything in the list from here and the list from here are all that are the same, are common factors. So let's have a look. 1 is a common factor, 2 is a common factor, 3 is a common factor, 4 is a common factor, 6. There's actually one more, and that's 12. So out of all of them, which one's the highest or which one's the biggest? That is, ta-da, 12. 12 is your highest common factor. So therefore, what did I say on the question? Is 4 the highest common factor? No, it's not. Not the highest common factor, sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, wow, this is it. This is the end. I thought there were more questions. That's it. Fast elk. Number bunny. Number 2. Number 1 is Silver Impala. Hooray. Well done to everyone. Thanks for playing along with me, by the way. Hope you had fun. I'm just going to stop my sharing now. Okay. Now, let me just get rid of Kahoot for a second. Oops, I accidentally got rid of my other one. Yeah, so hopefully you had some fun. Hopefully you revised a few of the concepts that you learned earlier this year. But we still got a little bit left to go. So we've got to probably maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And we're just going to change it up a little bit with a fun fact. Fun fact, you ready? Here is an A3 sheet of paper. Well, could probably put it the other way. Some stuff on that side. A3 sheet of paper. In Australia, we have what we call the A series paper sizes. I found this fun fact out the other day. And so you should know that when you're working in your books, really you're working in A4. A3 is slightly bigger. But did you know that there's also A5 size paper? A5 size paper looks like this. Let me just quickly do it up. If I fold my A3 in half, I get A4. If I fold it in half again, I get A3 paper. And then if I fold it in half, I get, guess what? Lo and behold, sorry, I go A4 to A5. If I fold it in half again, I get A6 paper. And I can just keep doing that, right? It's going to start getting impossible for me to fold this, by the way. All right, and fold it in half again. Sorry, so that's A7 paper, right? I can kind of go back the other way. So I've got my A4 piece of paper. I flip it open. That's A3. If I kind of double it, that gives me A2, right? And then if I double that again, it gives me like A1. So what's really cool about this paper system is that you can just keep halving or doubling it and you're kind of changing paper size. And the reason why they do this is so that all the printers and all the photocopiers, they all kind of know what size paper they need to be able to take. But what's really cool is that if you look at a sheet of paper, right? You ready? Here's a question I'm about to ask you all. If I measured this side here, the long side, and I measured the short side, and I said, okay, what's the long side divided by the short side? What would you get? Let me have a look in the chat. What would you get if you took the long side and you measured it and you divided it by the short side? What would the ratio of those sides be? A couple of answers in there. You get 2, 3, don't know, 2 to 1. Well, let's have a think about this, right? Because if you take this piece of paper and let's forget about the sides for a moment. Let's talk about the area of this paper, right? So if I go from the area of this one, this big A3 piece, and I fold it in half, what happens to the area? The area halves, right? Like it literally is half a piece of A3 paper. If I fold it in half again, the area will half. So what's really interesting is that the area can double and the area can half, but the sides aren't actually in a ratio of 1 to 2. Like they're not actually, this long side is not double this side, right? If you measured it, you'd notice that it's not exactly double. What's really cool is it's actually a ratio of what we call the square root of 2, right? So just talking about square roots a little bit again. Remember, what is a square root? The square root of something is the something times something gives you a number is a square. The opposite way of going, okay, if I have the square root of say 25, something times something gives me 25. What's that number? 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. So the square root of 2 is a number that when you multiply it by itself will give you 2. But there is no whole number when you multiply it by itself that gives you 2. It's actually a really, really long decimal number. Someone type into the chat for me. What is the square root of 2 as a decimal number? Give me a whole pile of numbers. Right, you probably need a calculator for this. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's 1 point something. It's like 1.6 something. Let me do it on my calculator. Hang on a second. My calculator says a square root of 2. I'm just square root of 2. It gives me 1.4142 blah 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 blah. Right? Let me show you how I do it. Right? Annabelle's got it. Let me share my screen for a second. All right. So, oh, you can see my backdrop. Where are we? Calculator. So I'm just going to do square root of 2. All right, that's the number, right? Some really, really long decimal number that just keeps on going forever and ever and ever. It doesn't ever stop. But that's the ratio of what the long side is compared to the short side. And what's really interesting about our A series paper is that no matter at which point, the ratio of the sides is always the same. So if I take my A3 paper, measure this long side, divide by the short side, right, that's going to give me the square root of 2, like 1.41, whatever it was. If I take my A4 piece and I go, okay, what's this long side divided by this side, I still get the same ratio. It's still the square root of 2. And it doesn't matter whatever size paper you have in the A series, take the long side divided by the short side, you're always going to get the square root of 2. Fun fact, there you go. I challenge you, go home, measure all the pieces of paper in your house and see if you get that square root of 2. All right. Oh yeah, I should have said that. Yes, I'm one of the teachers here at Mathspace, just to let you know. That's why I'm doing this. I am a representative and I'm a teacher. Before this, I was teaching maths for 10 years as well. So, okay. So that's my fun fact for today. Now we're going to jump into showing you a little bit of how to use Mathspace. Now, if you don't have Mathspace, you can get access to it. Ask your parents. If you do have Mathspace, which is hopefully why you're here, let me show you what you can do to be able to get the most out of it. So I've set up a couple of tasks that I'm going to run through with everyone. So what you need now is a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to show you some questions, and hopefully I want you to write them out, and you can do them on your piece of paper at home and tell me the answer in the chat. So I accidentally closed my screen that I had set up prepared earlier. So I'm just going to have to log back in. My mock student is Porcupine. Okay, so when you log in to Mathspace, you come to this page here. You'll have all your tasks coming up. You'll have lessons that have been shared with you. So before I jump into the task that I've set for myself that we're going to go through, what I want to show you is that you can actually explore Mathspace by yourself. You don't have to just wait for your teacher to set you stuff. So if you're at home and you've done all the work that your teacher set for you and you want to maybe put a little bit more time into maths, make sure that you kind of expand your knowledge or maybe work on some of the things that you're finding a bit difficult, click on the textbook button at the top. Can everyone see my screen okay? And on the side here, you've got all the topics and all your curriculum. Now this blue writing you can click on and you can change the textbook that you're looking at. Now what you'll be able to see is not what's here, because what you'll be able to see is only what textbooks your teacher has set for you. So we're in year 7, so we're going to click on year 7. And if you're finding year 7 particularly hard, don't be shy. Go back to some of the earlier year levels and start learning from there. Because if you just can't get the concept at the year 7 level, it's really, really hard to make any progress unless you've got the prior knowledge. So be brave, be confident, go back, learn what you need to learn, and then come back to year 7. That's the best way to learn anything, right? Like if I want to get massively beefy and get massive muscles, I can't start lifting 30 kilos straight up. I'm just not that strong. I've got to work my way up, start with maybe 5 kilos, start doing some bicep curls, some bench presses, and then work my way up to those heavier weights. Same thing with maths, right? Maths is a skill, just like footy, just like tennis, just like anything. Got to work your way up. All right, so I'm in my curriculum that I want. We're doing whole numbers today, so I'm going to click whole numbers. And in here, it gives you a whole pile of subtopics that you can kind of have a look at. So notice that in the Kahoot that we just did, I tried to cover most of these topics. So if you found a question that you thought, hey, that was pretty tricky, maybe come back here. Maybe you didn't know how to do the square root part. Click on the squares and square roots. And when you're click on a topic, you actually have 2 sections here. You've got the questions, which you can try. But what I would suggest you do is actually go to the lesson first. The lesson is like a textbook. It's got lots of things for you to read and to learn about this topic. It's got some really nice diagrams. It's got some GeoGebra applets, which allow you to visualize what the learning is. So this is just showing you what square numbers looks like, right? If you've got 1 squared, it is literally a square of 1 side by 1 side. If you've got a square of 2, it is literally, we can think about it also as not just 2 times 2, but we can think of it as a square with a side of 2 and another side of 2. How many little squares do we have altogether? 4 squares altogether, right? So some of those nice things kind of scattered throughout. What is a square root? And then there are some also nice practice questions where it'll tell you the solutions and it'll give you reasoning why. And it'll also allow you to watch a video of someone going through that exact same question, right? So if you're getting stuck, come in here, get all the help from the lesson itself. But let's say you just want to get practicing, you want to try the questions, come in here and all you have to do is click the Start Adaptive Task and away you go. you'll start practicing questions in Mathspace. All the stuff that you do by yourself, your teacher sees as well. So they'll be like, hey, Johnny's doing great. He's even doing more work than I've asked him to do. Gold star. So that's how you kind of use Mathspace by yourself. You don't need your teacher. Go away and work out your maths muscle. So I'm going to do a couple of questions now with everyone. I said it. Did I not name it properly? Potentially. Give me a second. Let me find it. Okay. I think it's this one. Oh, I can't start it. No. Oh, no. It must have been another one. Hang on a second. I did a practice. Just to make sure I didn't get it wrong in front of you guys. Let's have a look. Come on, slow poke. Yeah, I think it's this one. All right, let's do this one. So, all right, here we go. This is what I want you to do. With your piece of paper and pen, we're going to zoom through these next 6 questions. You ready? I want you to tell me, what is the value of 6 times 13? Take 4 plus 2. Have a go. Write it down. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. It might not be long enough, but we got to move a bit faster because we're running out of time. Think about it. Okay, we've got a whole pile of operations. What do you need to remember when you've got times, minus, plus all put together? You got to remember order of operations. What is order of operations? It is BIM DAS. Right? There's a couple of other ones. Some places use PEDMAS. Some people use BODMAS. I use BIM DAS. Right? They're all the same, really. Oh my goodness. Now, one thing that I want to show you is that it's actually kind of broken up like this, right? You kind of do brackets first, then indices, then you can actually do multiplications and divisions at the same time. It doesn't really matter which one you do first, but if you've got multiplications and divisions all at once, you just work from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. You can kind of do them all at once as well, but just work left to right if you have multiple. So this one here, there's no brackets, so I don't need to worry about that. There's no indices, but there is multiplication. So I've got to do this 6 times 13 first. You can do this 6 times 13 2 ways. Now, the mental math way is, well, you should know, or you should be able to calculate at least what 6 times 12 is, right? 6 times 12. Well, if you don't know what 6 times 12 is, well, 6 11s are 66. Add on another 6, that's 6 12s, and that'll be 72. Add on another 6, and that'll be 13 6s, which will be 78. If you didn't know how to do it that way, mental maths way, you can always do the 13 times 6. Do it this way, 6 3s are 18. Carry the 1, 6 6s are 1, 6 1s are 6, plus 1 is 7, right? So either way works. So this is actually 78, take 4 plus 2. Now notice that I'm doing it step by step. I'm not doing everything at once. I'm just going to do one thing at a time. Now, after I've done the 6 times 13, I go back to BIM DAS and I go, okay, in the 78, take 4 plus 2, are there any brackets? No. Are there indices? No. Any multiplications or divisions? No. Done them all. Any additions or subtractions? The answer is yes, I've got additions and subtractions. I can do this really in any order. I could do the 78 take 4 first. I could do the negative 4 plus 2 first, but I'm going to work left to right, right? Because that's the general rule of thumb that you should kind of be working to. So I can go, what, 78 take 4? Or, oops, I can't, how do I erase that? Let me get rid of that. 78 take 4 is 74. And then I can do the 74 plus 2. Sorry, my handwriting's terrible. 74 plus 2 is 76. So the answer is 76. I'm going to pop my answer in. Get out of draw mode. Give me a second. Put in 76. Oh. All right. Each of these expressions are the same. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to skip this one for time's sake. But just because it's more, what do you call it? Order of operations. Let's get to some other stuff. All right. Let's have a go at this one. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Tell me what the square root of 64 plus the square root of 144 is. You're going to need to use BIM DAS, and you're also going to need to figure out what on earth is a square root. Now, while you're 30 seconds doing that, I'm going to just quickly check the chat. Let's have a look. Whoa, so many people talking. Okay, you ready? Wow, some people got that answer quick. You ready? Let's do it together. All right, square root of 64. What is the square root of 64? Remember, the square root means what times itself gives you 64. And that number is, well, if you don't know off the top of your head, all you have to do is go through all the square numbers. You go, okay, 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. Oh, it took me a bit too long there. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 5s are 25. I'm getting closer. 6 6s are 36. 7 7s are 49. 8 8s are 64. So, answer here is 8. All right, let's figure out what's the square root of 144. Now, we got up to 8 8 to 64, so it can't be less than 8 because 64 is smaller than, 144 is bigger than 64. So we go, okay, 9 9s are 81, 10 10s are 100, 11 11s are 121, 12 12s are 144. So the square root of 144 is 12. So if I'm going to write this out mathematically, right, what I don't want to do is I don't want to write just this 8 and just this 12 as part of my working alone. I want to make sure that I'm writing all of this information. I shouldn't have cleared that, sorry. I want to make sure that all of this information is kind of done step by step as I write things into here. So I'm going to do the first part. The square root of 64 we figured out was 8. And I could, if I wanted to, change the square root of 144 here, but I'm just going to do one thing at a time, right? So if I wanted to find the square root button, I just click this button here, do square root, 144. And so I know that if I've gotten this first number wrong, that this second number is exactly the same. I know that it can't be the second part. It has to be the first part that's wrong if I get it wrong, right? So just changing one thing at a time just really helps me, one, communicate my maths really well, but two, kind of helps me check where am I going wrong very, very quickly. All right, so I'm going to just change this. So now, because I've done the first square root part already, that changed that to 8, I'm now going to leave that the same and change the second part. The square root of 144 is 12. See if that's right. Okay, excellent. On the right track. So now that I've done the square root of both those numbers, 8 plus 12 is 20. Boom. Got it. All right. Next one. Let's try this one. Oh, 5 cubed, take 3 cubed. 30 seconds. Go. Running out of time, guys. Gotta hustle. Hustle, hustle, hustle. All right, you ready? Ready or not, here I come. So 5 cubed, what's that? 5 cubed is 5, this is not working very well, times 5 times 5. And so I just got to figure out what that is. I know what 5 5s are. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, if you struggled at this part, guess what? You just go 25 times 5 this way. Alternatively, you could do, okay, well, what's 25 times 4? 25 times 4, well, 25 times 2 is 50. So 25 times 4 is 50 times 2, which is 100. So that means 25 times 5 is 100 plus another 25. So that's actually going to be 125, right? So let's quickly write that in. Then I've got, so 5 cubed is 125. And I'm going to take away 3 cubed. I'm not changing that, the last part. I just want to figure out, is that first part correct? Boom, good. All right. So now I've got to do the 3 cubed. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 3s are 9. 9 3s are 27. So 3 cubed is 27. So I'm going to leave the first part the same. I'm just going to change the second part. 125 take 7 is, 3 cubed is 27. Boom, on the right track. Now I just got to figure out what this is. 125 take 27. Well, 125 take 25 is back to 100. So if I'm taking away 25, I've still got another 2 that I have left to take away because I'm taking away 27 altogether. So 100 take away another 2 is 98. Sorry if I went a bit fast there, but we got to keep moving. All right, I might make this one. Oh yeah, let's do this one. I might make this one the second last one. Write down all the factors of 20, 30 seconds. We did this so many times, so hopefully you've picked up the method. Remember, start at 1, and 1 times something gives you 20. Give you 20 seconds to figure out the other factors of 20. We'll check the next number after 1. After 1 comes 2. Does 2 fit into 20? Yes, it does, because it's even. So 2 times something gives you 20. 2 times 10 gives you 20. So that's 2 and 10. Does 3 go into 20? No. Does 4 go into 20? Yes, it does. 4 goes into 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So it goes in 5 times. So it's 4 and 5. So there's all your factors. Let me quickly just write that in. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Boom, got it. All right, let me check the next 2. Let's see which ones we should do. Now let's do this one. Ready? Worded question time. Now remember, with worded questions, you just got to go slow, read carefully, highlight all the important bits of information, and this one's got lots of steps to it, so do it one step at a time. Let's quickly read together. You ready? Neil wanted to share some ice blocks between his football mates. He brought 70 ice blocks. I'm going to highlight that one. 70 ice blocks, expecting all 10. He has 10 teammates to be at practice, but 2 didn't come. Okay. He splits the ice blocks equally, so he splits it equally among his teammates who came, so only the ones who came, and keeps the remainder for himself. How many ice blocks are left over? Oh, wow, this is tricky. Normally, I'd think, how many ice blocks did each person get? That's not the question. Question is, how many ice blocks are left over? All right, so we're going to have to figure out how many each person got, I think, and then figure out how many is left over. So he's got 10 teammates, but 2 of them didn't rock up. So really, he's only sharing them between 8 teammates. Now he's sharing 70 between 8. Now, you've got to be careful here, right? What word tells you what operation to do? Sharing. Sharing means division, right? Sometimes, oh, well, it actually says split. I said sharing. Split, you're splitting it evenly, means sharing, means division, right? So I've got to figure out how many times does 8 fit into 70? Or what is 70 divided by 8 to the nearest whole number, right? Like, let's not worry about the remainder just yet. So let's just do our 8 times table, figure out how many times it fits into 70. So we've got 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. What comes after 56? 64, 72. So as soon as we get to 9, we've gone over 70. So each teammate can't have 9. So that means each teammate must have 8 ice blocks. If they've got 8 ice blocks, that's not really the question, how many they get. The question is, how many's left over? So 8 8s are 64. So that means 64 of these ice blocks are being given to his teammates. How many are left over? I've got to figure out, well, what's the difference between 70 and 64? 70 take 60 is 10. 10 take 4 is 6. So there's my answer there. 6 ice blocks are left over. Oh, that's the end anyway. Trust me, I was right. Now, we've got 4 minutes left. Last 4 minutes. You ready? I'm going to tell you a puzzle. And if I see you next week, I want you to tell me what is the answer to this puzzle. You ready? All right. The answer, the puzzle is this. I want you to write the numbers 1 through 15 in a sequence. What is a sequence? A sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Just write the numbers down. Actually, let me do some annotation here. Let me do some drawing here. Let me just figure out how to draw. Ooh. Give me a second. All right, let me share my screen. Again, oh yeah, whiteboard, cool. Let's give this a go. So what I want to do, I want you to write down a sequence of numbers from 1 to 15 that, let me just show you what a sequence is. So a sequence could be this, it could be 2, 5, 12, 7. It doesn't really matter, but I want you to write out all the numbers in a line, in a sequence from 1 to 15. Now, the trick here, the rule here is that I want you to write it so that when you add any 2 numbers that are next to each other, they have to add to a square number. Okay, so let's just think. What's a square number again? Remember, 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 squared is 1. 1 is a square number. What's another square number? Let's do another one. 7 times 7 is 49. So 7 squared is 49. 49 is a square number. So what I mean by this is I want you to write all the numbers through 1 to 15. When you put two numbers next together, they have to add to a square number. So if I do this, all right, this actually said 5, but I'm going to change this to a 6, right? If I add 2 and 6 together, well, 2 and 6 is 8. Is 8 a square number? Well, let's check. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. So no, 8 is not a square number. So this can't happen. I can't have 2 and 6 together because they don't add together to be 9, right? So what's one thing that might work? Well, let's say I started with 1. Well, 1 and if I'm next number, 3. 3 would work. Why? Because 1 plus 3 is 4. And 4 is a square number. 2 times 2 is 4. So 1 and 3 works, right? I might try the next one. I need a number that sits next to 3 that will add to another square number. So 3 plus, what would be another square number? Maybe 9. 9's a square number. What would I need to get to 9? 3 and 6. So this would work because 1 and 3 add to 4, which is a square number. 3 and 6 add to 9, which is a square number. So my sequence so far is working. The challenge here is write all the numbers 1 through to 15 down in a line, in a sequence, so that all the numbers add to square numbers. All right, all adjacent numbers, all the numbers that are next to each other add to square numbers. Now, that's me done for today. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've learned something. And please let us know how you liked this lesson. Let me just quickly stop sharing. Let us know how you liked it. Next week's session, I've got to double check the date actually, but I think it's next week, Thursday, that we're going. If you go to the website, it'll tell you all the topics that are coming up. Thank you so much for joining us. Loved having you guys with me. Hopefully I'll see you next time and get cracking on that puzzle. I want those answers next week, please. All right. Have a good day. See you later. Stay safe. Bye-bye.